What's up, everybody? It is KidSmoove, and this is another Apples and Oranges video, 2Pac edition. And I want to talk about 2Pac's All Eyez on Me. No, not because the movie's coming out, but because today's February 13th, and 2Pac's album, Double LP album, turns 21 years old today, because it was released February 13th of 1996. And I really want to talk about why this album is a classic and why it belongs in the top 10, top 5, whatever, greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Now, some of the things I've been realizing is, and some of it, especially with these lists, people be coming up with these lists, and then when I say people, these credible lists, whether it be Billboard, whatever, they'll be coming out with these lists, MTV, and they want to rank the greatest hip-hop albums. They do it every now and then, and I noticed they struggle to try to put a 2Pac album on there. They say, yeah, Tupac's one of the greatest rappers of all time, but then they struggle to put one of his albums on the top 10 as if he doesn't have a good album. And this bugs me so much, you know. And lately, with these lists that they be coming up with, like Billboard's list, which kept 2Pac out of the top 10, oh my god, that was just they lost all credibility for me. But if you guys see another top 10 hip-hop albums list, whatever, and there's no 2Pac album in the top 10, or if it's in the bottom half of the top 10, shut that shit off. Shut the fucking shit off. 2Pac's All Eyez on Me is a classic for many, many reasons. It's a crowning achievement for many, many reasons. 2Pac's All Eyez on Me was extremely anticipated because it was 2Pac's first album coming out of prison, coming after being shot multiple times. It was a follow-up to another successful album he released less than a year prior, which was Me Against the World. People wanted to know what he was going to do, what he was going to say. He's on a new label. He's with Death Row. He got a team of Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Dog Pound, whatever. You know what I mean? And we want to see what 2Pac sounds on Dr. Dre beats, right? Or what we would thought. Album comes out immediately. It's number one. Stays up there for a few weeks, right? At the number one spot. It spawns two singles. Not two singles, but two number one singles, and that is California Love and How Do You Want It. It is hip hop's first double rap album. It's the first artist to do it is 2Pac. It was recorded in about 2 weeks in '95. It was recorded as soon as he got out of prison. Recorded in 2 weeks, because the album was originally supposed to come out in December of '95, but it got pushed back. And it's what, 24, 25 tracks on this album, and I don't think there is a skippable song on here. And I'm looking at it, and I listen to Life After Death. I listen to Nas's Illmatic and Stillmatic, and It Was Written. I think Nas got like 3 classic albums, if you ask me. But I listen to all the albums people consider classics, and I listen to 2Pac All Eyez on Me, and Me Against the World, of course. And I'm like, as well, and I'm like, yo, do people really struggle to put this album on this list? Forget the singles, forget California Love and, you know, How Do You Want It and stuff. Let's talk about the songs that make an album, the songs that put these the list of other songs that put this album together, that puts these singles together, right? One, there's technically 2 albums, right? I think the first book 1 features about 14 tracks, while book 2 is like 13. And Bitches as a Rider. No better way to open up an album. I can't deny it, I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna fuck with me. Like, come on. You can't deny that. That song, instant classic. There's so much content on this album, and for like not even one of the songs to be garbage or fucking no, he didn't waste any time on intros and outros and skits or fucking just what you call interludes. They were just songs, back to back to back songs, and it's not, completely not. All About You features Nate Dogg, Outlawz, Snoop Dogg, has it samples Candy, dun, dun, dun. It's all about you. Perfect song. This album was so good that some of the songs on here had to release later as a single for greatest hits. There's a music video for this, but it released 2 years later. All About You, great song. Scandalous, Tupac and Nate Dogg do their thing. Daz, underrated producer, I think his beats back in these days were better than Dr. Dre's. Daz did his thing on Scandalous. I met you through my homie, now you act like you don't know me. Okay, this shit was so funny. Like, it's like you can listen to that. It's a nice track. Got My Mind Made Up. This kind of put an ease on the East Coast West Coast war. It was Tupac, Method Man, Redman. It was originally supposed to be a Dog Pound and Wu-Tang collab, but for some reason it didn't happen. Dr. Dre gave the song to Tupac. They got the clearance for it, even though it was originally produced by Daz. But it's a great song. One of the most only East Coast sounding really songs where Tupac bring out his East Coast style on this song, and holds up well against the Wu-Tang. Got My Mind Made Up. Another classic song. How Do You Want It? Two of America's Most Wanted. Those were singles. We know what those songs did. We know how impactful they were and what they meant during that time. Right? No More Pain. Hearts of Men. Great track. Hearts of Men was produced by DJ Quick. 911, this emergency. Cowards tried to murder me, from her to the bird. I swear you niggas heard of me. Shit, I'm legendary. Like, the Hearts of Men, man. That was Tupac on some big boss status. DJ Quick on the beat, doing a marvelous job, and Tupac shows no signs of slowing down. Life Goes On. A lot of people say Biggie's Life After Death is a classic, sure. And a lot of people's favorite songs is the song Missing You, and I Got a Story to Tell and whatnot. Life Goes On holds up well, if not better than that. And it's a year earlier. Yes, Life Goes On is a classic and one of the best songs on this album, on the album that is full of great songs. Now, what reason why this makes this one of Tupac's best albums, because Tupac always had the talent of rapping. He was always one of the best rappers, with thought-provoking. The lyrics are always there. The complaint about Tupac prior to All Eyez on Me and even Me Against the World was the beats weren't really as good as others of the other peers in the rap game. His producers that he had in the early 90s that were doing work for Tupac, they didn't have good beats. They did not have good beats, so that's why some songs were hit or miss, or they just didn't stick with people. On All Eyez on Me, there was no whack beats. There was no whack beats, so you had Tupac's flow, his words, his thought-provoking words, on some banging beats, and it worked. And that's how he made. That's why literally from Me Against the World onward, other than that Loyal to the Game album, every song you can listen to every song without skipping. Right? So only God can judge me. Memorable lines. Mr. Police, please try to see there's a million motherfuckers dressing just like me. Featuring Rappin' Forte. Only God can judge me. Staple song. Staple song. It was a classic song on a classic album. Trading War Stories. California Love. Obviously, that was a #1 hit. We know what that did. I Ain't Mad at Ya, also another single on the album. We know what that means to people. We also got What's Your Phone Number. Well, Biggie had on his album Nasty Boy, right? I feel like What's Your Phone Number is an equivalent. Remember, and All Eyez on Me came out a year earlier than Life After Death. So just to give you guys, you can actually compare. I'm not going to sit there and compare the two albums, but just letting you know, people consider Life After Death an instant classic, but people struggle to consider All Eyez on Me or Me Against the World like one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. All right, Book 2 features actually some of the best music on the album, and none of these were actually singles. Can't See Me, Tupac shreds another Dr. Dre beat and a half, even though Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre's most laziest beat, because it's just an updated version of Snoop Dogg's What's My Name beat that he did 3 years earlier. Tupac get on the beat, they got George Clinton on there, he destroys it, it's a hit. Takes some shots here and there at Biggie, it's a hit. Holla at Me. Listen to the song and tell me it's not a classic. Listen to the song Holla at Me right now, and what is there about that song that you can critique? Gotta be careful, don't let the evil of the money trap me. So when you see me, nigga, you better holla at me. Gotta beware where you stay, we better not find where you lay. Niggas out here jealous cause we be bailing with that fro. They try to play you hate. And Tupac goes in, he takes shots at Biggie and the girl that accused him of, you know, the sexual assault. When We Ride features the Outlaws, another good song, and this is where the Outlaws really come into play. We learn their names. I think Tupac, what he did was purposely named them after like war villains and whatnot, like real life war villains and whatnot. You had Tupac being Machiavelli, Gaddafi obviously resembling Gaddafi, Hussein Fatal resembling Saddam Hussein and whatnot and shit like that, Idi Amin, Mussolini, all this shit, like, you know what I mean, back then. So they were really smart with how they selected these names, right? But the song itself was dope. And then you had the song, I'm sorry, I skipped the song, Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. Wonder Why They Call You Bitch is, sometimes I feel like it's my favorite song on the album. And people forget about All Eyez on Me, right? If you read reviews on All Eyez on Me, and one of the most common complaints about All Eyez on Me was reviewers kept saying that it doesn't have the Keep Your Head Up or Dear Mama or Brenda's Got a Baby on it, right? There's no songs for that, like for the Young Black Sisters, you know what I mean? Tupac did more than enough of them, right? But people forget during when Tupac was going through his rape case, and he was like, you know what I mean, he can't believe that there's actually a black woman putting him through this, you know, accusing him of this. And he said if this all goes through and he gets convicted and he didn't get the support from his black sisters, you would never hear a Keep Your Head Up and Brenda's Got a Baby out of him again. And Wonder Why They Call You Bitch was the closest you was gonna get to that on this album. And the crazy thing about it is, even though it's not as inspiring of a song for like inspiring to the black sister and whatnot, all it is the opposite. Just showing Tupac showed you how men should treat their women. Then he now tells you about the women that are bad and why he called some of these girls bitches and for these particular reasons. And there were valid reasons, and the song is still thought-provoking. It's not Tupac sitting here bashing a girl, you know what I mean, calling her a bitch. No, it's actually not. It is not. It's actually a thought-provoking, lesson-learned song. He's telling the story of a woman who takes advantage of the system, leave her kids with her moms, sleeps around with different guys for money and all this shit, and he tells you what she does, how she succeeded with it, and how it became her demise. Thought-provoking song, classic. Faith was supposed to be on this song, but they took it, obviously the beef between Biggie and Pac, they took her off of it and replaced it with somebody else. The beat was good, the hook was good, but the content of the lyrics was still Tupac. No, it wasn't Keep Your Head Up, but it was just as powerful. It's just as thought-provoking because it gave you the same messages and for how a woman could look at other girls and be like, you know what, I don't need to be like this. We can be better. The other song I want to go over is Picture Me Rolling. Picture Me Rolling is a classic. It features Big Psych, Danny Boy. I can't think of the other rapper, but Picture Me Rolling. When you think of All Eyes on Me, you think of Shorty Wanna Be a Thug. You think of Picture Me Rolling. You think of California Love. You think of a lot of these songs. Picture Me Rolling in my 500 Benz. You know what I mean? And Tupac goes on, and this song helps solidify All Eyes on Me as a classic. Checkout Time, which features Big Psych and Corrupt. We gotta go. I'm up early in the morning, bro, stinking as a yawning. Just another sunny day in California. I got my mind focused on it. Like Tupac goes on, and this song it's probably the most random song on air. You know what I mean? The song is literally about them running out of time because it's checkout time out of the hotel. They had a great night the night before, and they got to go. But the beat's good. I don't know what it is about this song that makes it one of my favorite songs. I don't know if it's the beat, the hook, or the verses. Corrupt, Tupac, Big Psych, they all had good verses, really good verses, and the chemistry was there. And it was right. And like I said, and this is one of the songs that helped make this album a great listen for the summertime. Thug Passion also appears on Book 2. My favorite, it's one of my favorite songs. Even though there's nothing that stands out about the verses on there, it's Tupac and the Outlaws. The beat, the hook, and just that it's an uplifting. It feels good. It's a song that makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Everybody sounds like they're having a good time. I can't skip the song. It's not a song that I want to skip. It's a song I actually want to listen to every time I play the album. Rather Be Your Nigga. Tupac and who's the other rapper on this song? Is it Rappin' Forte again? Or is it Richie Rich? I'm trying to think of who's the other rapper on here. I'd rather be your Nigga, so we can get drunk and smoke weed all day. Does it samples that Bootsy Collins? I'd rather be your friend. Like Tupac. Oh my God, man, this song is dope. There's nothing I can really say about I'd rather be a nigga. When I first heard the song, I immediately fell in love. I just hit repeat. And I'm like, where was this? This album holds so many gems, man. And Book 2, actually, I feel I love Book 2 more than I like Book 1 of All Eyes on Me. All Eyes on Me, obviously, the song which All Eyes on Me. Yes, that was Tupac's beat before Nas took it for the song Street Dreams Are Made of Thieves. But the song All Eyes on Me features Big Psych as well. The beat was dope. Obviously, you can't say the beat was whack. East Coast artists stole it. You know, East Coast artists stole it. Tupac did his thing on this. Run the Streets. You can run the streets with your thug. I'll be waiting for you until you get through. I'll be waiting. You can run the streets with your thugs. Tupac. It was Tupac, not Castro. What's the other dude name from the Outlaws? It was Tupac, Napoleon, and Storm. Good song. It was a great song. Listen to it. Look up Tupac, Run the Streets. I bet you're going to love it. I bet if you like hip-hop, you're going to like it. Ain't Hard to Find. Probably my least favorite song on the album. I think it's because probably the features. I didn't care for the other rappers that were on this song. A lot of, I mean, E40. It was a lot of Bay Area rappers on it. It's not that I love Bay Area rappers. I like E40 and I love Rappin' Forte. But I just didn't really care for the song. The beat was good. You know, they did their thing. It was one of those a filler track. I feel like this was the only filler track on the album. And of course, Book 2 closes out with one of the greatest songs of all time, and that's Tupac's "Heaven Ain't Hard to Find." Heaven, it ain't hard to find. Oh man, there's so much memorable line from there. He goes, let me apply the brakes. Maybe you're moving too fast. My conversations are getting deeper, but first let me ask, are you afraid of a thug? And have you ever made love? Oh man, I love this song. Like I said, every time the summer comes around, spring, summer comes around, I put in All Eyes on Me, and I am good with music for the whole season. I'm good. I don't need anything else to listen to because it provides that. This was a #1 album. It stayed #1 for a couple weeks. It went on to sell 6 million, I think, in 96, 9 million maybe that year. It currently was over 10 million records sold. Obviously, it's a diamond album. Just to remind you guys that Tupac and Eminem are the only two rappers with 2 albums in the the greatest selling rap albums of all time. And if you take 10 albums, the top 10 greatest selling albums of all time, Tupac and Eminem are responsible for 4 of those albums. And a lot of people don't want to give Tupac credit for having a greatest album of all time. Check this out. Look at some of these lists and see how and some of these lists, All Eyes on Me isn't top 5 or even top 10, or they'll debate whether a Tupac's album should be on there. It's fucking ridiculous. But let me know what you think, how you feel about All Eyes on Me. All Eyes on Me does turn 21 years old today, February 13th, 1996. Greatest album, one of the greatest albums of all time. I know a lot of Tupac fans, of real, long time Tupac fans, try to discredit people for liking All Eyes on Me versus his older stuff. But you got to admit, Tupac always had the lyrics, but All Eyes on Me finally gave Tupac some beats that did him justice. That and Me Against the World. I love Me Against the World too. And like I said, his earlier works I do love as well, but All Eyes on Me does hold a special place in my heart, because I feel like this album never dies. You know what I mean? It just stood the test of time and is instantly a classic. This is KidSmoove, Apples and Oranges. Let me know how you feel about this video by giving me a like or a dislike, or show me some love in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe. We out of here.